They said he was too small, too thin, too foreign, but the world would soon realize. He was too fast for their eyes, too sharp for their minds, and too powerful for their limits. This is the story of Bruce Lee, not just a man who mastered martial arts, but the man who redefined what it means to be human. In 1940, in the heart of San Francisco's Chinatown, during the Year of the Dragon, a child was born. His name, Lee Jun-fan, but the world would know him as Bruce Lee. From the moment he arrived, the world seemed to sense he wasn't ordinary. Even his birth was dramatic. Born in America while his parents were touring with the Chinese opera. A blend of East and West, just like his destiny. When Bruce was only 3 months old, he made his first film appearance. His father, a famous opera actor, brought him onto the set. And that was the beginning of something no one could have predicted. But Bruce wasn't a calm child. He was restless, energetic, and always getting into fights on the streets of Hong Kong. Neighbors would complain, teachers would shake their heads, but his mother saw something different. She once said, "He's not fighting to hurt, he's fighting to prove." Bruce was proving, from the start, that he was different. As a teenager, Bruce was wild. He joined street gangs, fought rivals, and ran from the police. But one day, a fight went too far. After badly injuring another boy, Bruce's parents feared for his future. They sent him away, across the ocean, to the United States. He was just 18, with only $100 in his pocket and a heart full of fire. When Bruce landed in Seattle, he worked odd jobs, washing dishes, cleaning tables, but inside him was a dream to show the world what true martial arts could be. At that time, Americans thought martial arts were just movie tricks or circus acts. But Bruce, he wanted to change that. He enrolled at the University of Washington, studying philosophy. Because for Bruce, fighting wasn't just about the body, it was about the mind. He once wrote, "The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus." Bruce believed martial arts wasn't about violence. It was about self-expression. It was art. It was life. In Seattle, Bruce started teaching martial arts to a few close friends. But his style was different. Faster, freer, more fluid. He didn't believe in styles. He said, "Styles separate men. It's not about style, it's about expressing yourself honestly." This philosophy led to something revolutionary. His own martial art, Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. It wasn't about memorizing forms. It was about being formless, like water. He said, "Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. Be water, my friend." Those words became immortal. But Bruce's rise wasn't easy. When he started teaching martial arts to non-Chinese students, many in the Chinese martial arts community were furious. They said it was a sacred tradition that must not be shared with outsiders. Bruce didn't agree. He believed martial arts belonged to everyone. He said, "If you love life, don't waste time, because time is what life is made of." To silence him, traditional masters challenged Bruce to a secret duel. If he lost, he'd have to stop teaching non-Chinese forever. Bruce accepted. The fight was short, brutal, and Bruce won. But it changed him. He realized that even though he'd won, he had struggled more than he should have. That's when he tore down everything he knew and rebuilt himself from the ground up. He spent months refining his body, training like a machine, speed, strength, reflexes, control. He broke barriers no one had ever seen before. He could do 2-finger push-ups, punch so fast that cameras couldn't catch it, and hit with such precision that even heavyweight boxers were stunned. Soon, word spread. A young Chinese man teaching something new, something powerful. Hollywood noticed. In 1964, at a martial arts demonstration in Long Beach, Bruce performed his legendary 1-inch punch. With just an inch of movement, he sent a man flying backward into a chair. The crowd was shocked. Among them, a man who would change Bruce's life. William Dozier, a TV producer. Dozier offered Bruce a role, and just like that, Bruce Lee entered Hollywood. His first big break was as Kato in the Green Hornet TV series. Audiences loved him, but producers didn't know what to do with an Asian star. They made him the sidekick, a supporting role when he should have been the main hero. Bruce was frustrated. He had the talent, the charisma, and the vision, but the doors of Hollywood were closed to him. He once said, "They think Chinese people are weak, funny, and mysterious. I'll show them what a Chinese man really is." And he did. When America didn't believe in him, Bruce turned back to Asia. In Hong Kong, he found what he'd been missing, a stage big enough for his fire. He made The Big Boss, a low-budget film that exploded across Asia. Then came Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon, and finally, Enter the Dragon. Each movie broke records, each performance shattered stereotypes. Bruce wasn't just fighting villains, he was fighting racism, limits, and expectations. In Enter the Dragon, his philosophy came alive. He wasn't playing a role, he was the role. The world finally saw Bruce Lee, the philosopher, the artist, the warrior. But at the peak of his fame, tragedy struck. In 1973, just weeks before Enter the Dragon's release, Bruce Lee died suddenly at the age of 32. The world was in shock. A legend gone too soon. Rumors spread. Poison, curse, conspiracy. But the truth remains uncertain. What's certain is this. Bruce Lee may have left the world early, but his impact never died. He had said, "The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering." And he did exactly that. Bruce Lee taught us that greatness doesn't come from strength alone. It comes from discipline, focus, and belief. He turned his limitations into weapons. He refused to fit in, and by doing so, he changed the world's idea of what was possible. His son, Brandon Lee, once said, "My father taught me that the word impossible is just an opinion." Even decades after his death, Bruce's philosophy continues to inspire millions. Athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, dreamers, all chasing excellence the way he did. His "be water" mindset is now quoted in boardrooms, tattooed on bodies, and studied in psychology classes. Because Bruce Lee wasn't just teaching martial arts, he was teaching life. Let's look at what made him truly special. When others memorized moves, he studied motion. When others trained muscles, he trained the mind. When others copied traditions, he created his own. That's why his influence reached far beyond fighting. He inspired the fitness revolution. He brought martial arts into Western culture. He broke Hollywood's racial barriers. But most of all, he showed that no one can define your limits but you. He once said, "Don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one." And that's exactly how he lived. Every second, every punch, every breath. Today, Bruce Lee stands as a timeless symbol of resilience, courage, and creativity. A man who could break boards, but more importantly, break boundaries. He was not a superhero. He was proof that a human being, when disciplined and focused, can reach near superhuman levels. So next time life challenges you, next time someone says you can't, remember the man who was laughed at, rejected, and underestimated, but became a legend anyway. Remember Bruce Lee, the dragon who taught us all to be water. If Bruce Lee's story inspired you, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Share this video with someone who needs motivation today, and subscribe for more powerful life stories like this one. Because the legends may die, but their fire never fades.